So a game that gives off Warcraft vibes but with some really cool modern mechanics is called the Scouring. At the moment you can actually playtest the game on Steam and it's actually really quite fun. Currently you can play a single player skirmish on 3 different sized maps as either the humans or the orcs. It doesn't stop there however, as you can also add on an AI assistant for yourself if you actually want some AI help. From my testing, it's essentially that your game pieces are controlled by AI until you control the game pieces to do other things. The assistant is actually pretty cool and pretty smart because you can make sure that you have your priorities set. If you want to take up with an upgrade, just click it and the AI will block any spending of the resources that you have until you are able to afford it. In general, the AI assistant is not really something that I'm super interested in because I feel like it does take a lot of fun out of playing the game, but I can definitely see why others might enjoy it too. Bear in mind that when I did test out putting the AI assistant on, whilst it does do some snazzy things like microing archer units, left to its own devices, there's a decent chance actually that you might just lose the game. So of course, with that in mind, you'll definitely still need to be involved. You can also have a setting where other enemy AI members can actually team up against you, and well, let's just say, it's not for the faint of heart. Another pretty cool feature of the playtest, by the way, is that if you need to leave the game for any reason, you can actually still return to it later if you're not intending to surrender. So the Scouring has essentially 3 key resources: gold, lumber, and food, with gold seemingly being the primary resource that you need for pretty much everything, including training your worker units and most military units as well. And then you have lumber, which you need in addition to gold for things like structures and certain military units like archers, and of course also upgrades. Food comes into play as an upkeep type resource, where of course the more workers and units you have, the more food you need to be producing with your economy through farms. Now there doesn't actually seem to be a population capacity, and there's no kind of supply depots blocking that, but I guess it's pretty cool because you've got of course the food, making sure that you have some kind of upkeep. At the moment there appears to be 4 main units for each of the factions, with the more powerful units being behind technology upgrades and certain building unlocks. With the humans, you have the footman, the archer, the knight, and a cannon unit. For the orcs, you can make grunts, goblin archers, ogres, and also a cannon. Some pretty important features to note are that the resources do diminish, and so you will be forced to expand your base locations eventually on the map, and there are also some really cool mechanics of healing flasks for your units which you can purchase for them when in proximity of your town hall or great hall. Certain units also go on top of buildings to defend, for example archers and cannons can stay on top of the barracks or your town hall or great hall, and the footmen or grunts can actually climb barracks and watchtowers or any buildings you can go on top of really, in order to take enemy units on top of the buildings down. Some units also have some really cool abilities. For example, the footman and the grunt can use shield abilities, the knight can use heal abilities on allied units, and the ogre can use a bloodlust ability, increasing the damage output for a chosen allied unit. A lot of these abilities are behind upgrades, so you'll need to make sure that you research them. There are many things that I like about the Scouring, especially the base building aspects. The building footprints are actually quite large, and you'll often find areas on the map won't necessarily be big enough to accommodate them if your buildings and farms aren't placed thoughtfully. It's great to have both a base building aspect and also the unit counter system to be considered at the same time. Now whilst the playtest only features a single player skirmish mode of the game, I have been told that we can expect multiplayer and also a campaign mode to appear in the future. Now because the Scouring is actually available as a playtest, why not give it a go on Steam, and if you do try it out, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. Pretty excited to hear your thoughts on the game. In this next new RTS release, the unstoppable alien force known as the Creeper has returned, devouring thousands of worlds in its path, and yours is next. Battle against the Creeper fluid in a groundbreaking pixel-level simulation to prove that humanity will rule the galaxy forever in Creeper IXE. This is a newly released real-time strategy game in the Creeper World franchise that allows you to command a squad of ships, coordinate your tactics, and fight back the alien menace known as the Creeper. It's an all-consuming enemy fluid that has already devoured thousands of colonies before it tries to take over yours. Your mission is to stop the creeper's advance using terraforming, gravity, awesome new weapons, and nature against the enemy. The only way to stop the creeper for good is to find and destroy the emitters and its cores on each planet. Only by finding all the cores and activating them will the creeper be destroyed and the planets saved. The creeper will constantly push to thwart your efforts and attack in surprising ways to throw you off balance. Now, the Creeper IXE, or to be honest, it might actually just be pronounced the Creeper X, I'm actually not too sure. Either way, it has a demo version available on Steam at the moment, with 3 missions and a really in-depth library of how the game works, explaining all the different ship types and game mechanics. It covers details such as your core ship's energy, ammunition for your ships, the type of enemies that you'll be facing, and the various weapons at your disposal, such as the Nullifier, Rift Blades, and Portals to name but a few. The Creeper may seem like a simple game on the face of it, but having got my hands on it and tried it out for a while, the missions really are a challenge and will put your problem-solving skills to the test. Now, speaking of challenges, I have set a challenge for myself on this YouTube channel to hit 1,000 subscribers before 2025. It's a tough ask, but it's completely free for you guys, and if you do enjoy the content, make sure that you have hit the subscribe button. More importantly, that you've hit the notification bell so that you do get a ding-dong when I upload another video which is likely to interest you. As always, I really appreciate the support. Another real-time strategy game soon to be released is Defense. And for a real-time strategy game, it's doing something quite controversial, but I'll leave that to the end of the segment. It's a game that allows you to build towers, muster armies, and conquer the map through 1v1, 2v2, or free-for-all battles against friends or AI-controlled bots. You can work your way through a campaign, wave defense, or skirmish modes, with victory coming for the player with the last headquarters standing. The game seamlessly blends accessibility with tactical depth, with a simplified economy system, massive automated battles, and a fun simplified upgrade system. Each match usually lasts between 5 and 10 minutes, which is great for a quick real-time strategy gaming fix, or if you enjoy high-octane games with quick turnarounds. Each map that you battle on is split up into regions, and they are the beating heart of your economy. Defend them against hordes of enemies vying to seize your resources with a variety of turrets. Each turret presents a strategic choice, so mix and match wisely and sell them as you need based on the challenges you face. Whilst some of the battle is automated, you do have control over the paths that your soldiers take. Move them wisely to ensure that you win the battle. Now, for the mildly controversial bit, well, the game has full controller support, and in fact, well, the developers actually recommend playing this game with a controller. It's always been a bit of a funny topic to talk about with real-time strategy games, whether you play them with a mouse and keyboard or a controller. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but what do you prefer to use? The mouse and keyboard or a controller? Let me know in the comment section below. What I will say is that I actually played Defense using a controller, and it was a really fun and smooth experience. With the way that the game has been optimized to be played with a controller, I actually don't think I can go back to using a mouse and keyboard for it. If you are pretty much hell-bent on using a mouse and keyboard, however, don't worry, you still of course can. Now, if this game has tickled your fancy, whilst the planned release is in early 2025, there is a demo version of the game on Steam that you can get your teeth sunk into. It's definitely worth a try. Now for potentially the very best strategy game, well, at least on paper, we've got Paper Battlefield, a real-time strategy game where battles are limited only by the boundaries of the notebook. In Paper Battlefield, you'll have a very unique real-time strategy experience where every battle unfolds on the pages of a sketchbook, and all your units and structures are drawn with ink. In this game, you will need to gather ink to fuel your military might, manage resources efficiently to build a formidable base, craft powerful units, and improve their effectiveness. The game will feature base building, where you can construct and upgrade your base with a variety of structures. Design your base layout strategically to fend off enemy attacks and ensure a steady supply of resources. you'll be able to recruit a diverse array of drawn combat units, each with unique characteristics that you'll need to command with precision, utilizing their strengths to dominate the battlefield. Now, if what you've heard so far about Paper Battlefield has tickled your fancy, well, you won't have to wait too long to get your hands on the game. It has a planned early access release date of the 27th of December 2024, which will include most of the planned core features such as training, challenges, a battle mode with bots, as well as multiplayer. With so many things going digital these days, it's nice to go back to old school pen and paper. After all, it is how they used to say, the pen is mightier than the sword. In Beholder Conductor, you'll play as Winston Smith, and you've been appointed as conductor of the newest B-class train, the Determination Bringer. Your first destination is Helmer, the capital of the great state, where you will receive further instructions. You've already been injected with an experimental drug during the medical checkup, which suppresses your need for a good night's sleep. This will allow you to devote more time to serving your country. Now, Beholder Conductor is a game that I've really been excited about since hearing about it being in development, and it's currently in a playtest on Steam. I can't recommend it highly enough. Having played the playtest version of the game all the way through, it was as awesome as I thought it was going to be. A thrilling storyline in which even the smallest of your decisions can play a huge role in changing the story chains of events. Making tough decisions under time pressure is what the Beholder series is known for, and is what has made it so popular, and Beholder Conductor so far has not disappointed. The storyline is really engrossing, and that's made even more so as the events unravel, all based on the decisions you make. There's no telling how what you do in the early stages of the game will affect the storyline later on, and your decisions are made really tough by problems you encounter to your personal character that you need to attend to. For example, you get targeted by problem peoples in the past that now demand money, but you have to pay them in a timely fashion. Certain decisions can earn you more money to help make sure you can pay your debts and avoid further trouble, but doing so could result in problems later for yourself or maybe for others on the train. You'll come across unusual, unexpected events on the train which you'll need to handle, including decisions that could lead to life or death outcomes for passengers. But without spoiling the storyline, I can't say much more than that. Let's just say you make decisions and then marvel at how important they actually were later on in the game. Your responsibilities as the conductor are maintaining order in the carriage assigned to you and providing assistance to passengers along the way. Your tools are reporting, intimidation, searches, and ejection. You'll need to carefully monitor the passengers and everyone who enters the carriage, decide what to do with fare evaders, observe and report all suspicious, unauthorized, and basically any unusual passenger activity, search their baggage, and call the police if you find prohibited items. Or maybe you let them fly. Many of your decisions and options will be time constrained, and so you'll need to make sure your decisions are strategic and timely in order to fulfill your agendas. Maybe sometimes you'll need to break the rules yourself if you need to help your fellow passengers. You'll need to move up the train to get access to the dining car or VIP compartments and carriages where high-ranking officials and big industrialists ride. Keep an eye on your colleagues and report their accepting of bribes or transporting of banned goods. The Ministry will not let your dedication go unnoticed. Complete secret missions and earn the trust of your superiors in order to receive special assignments. Their level of secrecy will depend on your loyalty, and completion will be rewarded with bonuses or even promotions. You can also go another direction and maybe just stick to the law books. The decision is yours. You'll also encounter smugglers transporting their packages along the route. It's risky to get involved, but it's profitable. In Beholder Conductor, you'll visit various stations and remote corners of the country. Make difficult decisions determining the fate of passengers and your colleagues. What kind of person will you be at the end of the journey? The playtest that you can find on Steam is relatively small, but it gives a really nice insight into the game, and I really can't wait to play the full version of Beholder Conductor. With a release date planned for 2025, in Age of Respair, you'll need to build your castle, manage resources and production chains, assemble a large army and lay siege to your enemies, lead your people and bring Respair to your kingdom. Age of Respair is a strategy castle builder where you'll need to manage every aspect of your kingdom, from gathering resources and establishing production chains, growing your population to expand your castle and economy, strengthen defenses to survive relentless sieges, and build massive armies to storm enemy castles in either a story-driven campaign or intense skirmishes. To ensure your castle thrives, your workers will need to gather essential resources such as wood, stone, and iron, and deliver these to your stockpiles, making them available for use in production chains. Don't forget to feed your population, choosing between quick options such as apple farms or more sustainable food sources such as wheat fields to supply mills and bakeries. Every decision will shape the prosperity of your kingdom. Food won't be all that is necessary to build a thriving kingdom, rather, you'll need to make sure your population is also content. Building churches, taverns, and decorations will boost the morale of your population and stave off discontentment, which is a path to population decline through those who leave your kingdom for greener pastures. The alternative is to rule through fear by placing structures threatening torture, which increases productivity but at the expense of morale. Happier citizens pay more taxes, whilst fear can drive higher resource production. The question remains, what kind of ruler will you be? As your kingdom grows, so do your needs. Start with basic buildings, but look to upgrade them when the opportunities present themselves in order to improve efficiency and ensuring your economy scales with your ambitions. Strategic choices of upgrades will be crucial to maintaining a robust and thriving economy. You will need to fortify your defenses with strong walls, strategic towers, and deep moats to safeguard your kingdom from enemy invasions, protecting your king at all costs. Once you've secured your defenses, you'll want to shift your focus on attack. Produce weapons, train soldiers, plan your assaults strategically, and deploy your siege engines to conquer your enemies. Now, that is all that we have time for this week, but of course, recently there's been so many real-time strategy game new release announcements and also updates. If you'd like to see more of the latest RTS news, check out this next video that's on your screen right now. Take care, and see you next time.